First, a little earlier this evening, I spoke to the Paisley MP, Jim Sheridan, who's on the Culture and Media Select Committee, which interrogated the Murdochs today. I began by asking him what his committee thought they'd achieved.
Well, I think we've put a marker down today, Gordon, that parliamentary process, when it works together, it's successful. I think we had the two Murdochs and Roberta Brooks in front of us today, and we asked some seething questions, and I don't think maybe we got all the answers that we're looking for, but nevertheless, I think we'll put a marker down that this has got to be addressed. The whole question of what's going on in News of the World.
But do you think, from the combination of Rupert and James Murdoch and Rebecca Brooks, that you really understand any more of what was actually going on inside that company than you did before you sat down today?
Well, I think one of the main statements today was Rupert Murdoch himself admitting that the responsibility for the collapse of News of the World lay with the senior management team at News of the World, whom he described as letting him down badly. And he was really, I thought he was really upset about that as well. So they're taking full responsibility for that. But in terms of the parliamentary process, I think it was important that we try to probe the questions. I mean, it was very difficult, particularly with Roberta Brooks, because she has a police investigation going on, a police inquiry. So we had to be very, very sensitive the questions we were asking. But there's no doubt in my mind that James Murdoch and Roberta Brooks were very, very evasive. Any difficult questions at all, they were just evading them. Right.
Are you aware of the evidence that Lord MacDonald gave to the Home Affairs Committee while you were having your chat with Rebecca Brooks?
No, unfortunately, Gordon, we've been
I'm just interested in your reaction to that. Lord MacDonald, who of course was the former Director of Public Prosecutions, he was hired by News Corp to look at these emails that your committee spent a long time on in this file that was given to this legal company, Harbottle and Lewis. Yeah. And he told the Home Affairs Committee this evening that when he examined them, it took him between 3 and 5 minutes to realise there was evidence of serious criminal wrongdoing, and that he promptly went to the News Corp board, who agreed with him, and then handed the stuff over to the police. And it was almost a sort of, because the impression that was being given this afternoon was that this was something terribly, terribly complicated. Lord MacDonald seems to be implying it was actually something very simple.
Yeah. Well, obviously we haven't had access to the emails, but if you're telling me that Lord MacDonald found that in 3 or 5 minutes, I just find that incredible. And the very fact that particularly Roberta Brooks is still denying any knowledge of emails or it wasn't me gov, I just find it's incredible that she's still behaving the way that she's behaving. She's just avoiding any responsibility whatsoever.
Yeah, you clearly didn't find, we should give her a right name, it's Rebecca, not Roberta, but you clearly didn't find her credible at all.
No, I didn't find her credible at all, and in fact, it's very difficult when you're asking someone a question, and they just simply say, "Well, I don't know," or "I wasn't there," or "It wasn't me, Gov." I mean, to suggest that she does that she didn't know what the phone hacking was going on, that private investigators were prying into people's private lives, and she didn't know anything about it. It's just incredible. And at one stage, I think we were told that News of the World management team just gets a sum of money and she hands it to the managing editor and allows him and her to go on with it. I just find that incredible.
Now, you raised at least once today, if not twice, the Tommy Sheridan affair. I think you raised it twice, didn't you, with Rebecca Brooks and with the Murdochs?
Yeah.
What is it you're driving at? I mean, I understand in the sense that you're trying to say, well, Luke was wrong information given to the trial. But what's the thrust of it? Are you saying there's some question mark over the safety of the conviction of Tommy Sheridan?
No, I'm no legal expert, Gordon, but it's about justice. I mean, I'm not here to defend Tommy Sheridan, but if there is evidence that was withheld from the jury, and remember the jury, it was something like 8-6 vote. So if there was evidence that was held from the jury that could have made a difference to Tommy Sheridan's trial, then I think it's right and proper that should be revisited again. And that's my only reason for doing it. It's not that I'm any defender or supporter of Tommy Sheridan. It's not
just
about the individual.
A very quick comment on something else which has come up this evening, that it now also appears that Neil Wallace, the former deputy editor of the News of the World, was advising Andy Coulson when he was running the Conservative Party machine in the lead up to the last election. That's just come out this evening. I'd just be curious to hear your reaction to that.
Well, as I say, I haven't heard it before, but it's just It's just an evolving situation, Gordon. It's changing by the hour, and it's extremely difficult trying to keep up with what's going on. But, you know, the whole question about the relationship between senior politicians, i.e. Prime Ministers, and this News Corp organisation and senior police, the whole thing has to be reviewed and looked at seriously. And I think that will only happen when we have fit and proper police inquiry and a judicial inquiry. Because after all, if this Mr Murdoch has got the empire that he has, and he has the influence that he says he has, you know, then there's something far wrong in our democracy.
All right, James Sheridan, thanks very much indeed.